Russell for mining.com.au, and today I'm speaking with Paul Harbidge, the President and CEO of Faraday Copper. Paul, it's great to have you back on. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Thanks, Shay. Good to be speaking with you again today.
Now, I am thoroughly enjoying our All About Copper conversations at the moment. But one thing we haven't touched on is the jurisdiction of your project. Now, the Copper Creek project is located in Arizona in America. However, what is the benefit of operating in this jurisdiction over others?
In terms of Arizona, for us, great jurisdiction, it's safe in terms of its investability. The Fraser Institute always rate it very highly. I mean, and when you look at Arizona itself, more than 70% of US domestic produced copper comes out of Arizona. So it's got a long history of mining. Really the state and all of the infrastructure has been built on the back of mining, going back more than 100 years. And so, it's got great infrastructure, in terms of the Copper Creek project. We've got a highway running past it. We've got renewable energy lines. There's a great source of skilled workers. I think importantly, we don't need to have a camp. Workers can go home to their families every night, which, compared to Australia, where there's a lot of fly in, fly out, then that certainly has added benefits of attracting people. And then, not only that, the sort of road, rail infrastructure power. There's also a smelter just 40 kilometers up the road called the Hayden smelter that is going to be, or is in the process of being re-permitted to operate. And so, again, bringing back to that domestic sources of copper, I think is critical going forward. I mean, the other benefit of Arizona compared to some jurisdictions is, no one's going to take the asset away from you.
So obviously, there are some positive qualities to having this project in this location. But what sort of permitting challenges does Arizona face, and is it similar to other areas?
Permitting is the elephant in the room, and that's not just related to Arizona, but I think generally in the Western world. As we're going through this clean energy transition, there's still a lot of people that view mining as part of the old school. It's not what we need going forward, but people don't realize that we actually need to increase mining to provide these critical metals in order to support the clean energy transition. And so, whenever you affect change, you put people out of their comfort zone and they say no. So, we certainly see challenges from permitting. That generally speaking, you're not seeing any bookends to the times. But as I say, that's not just related to Arizona, it's related to a lot of the Western world. But we're seeing, more rhetoric coming out of the US about needing, the Mining Act reform that goes back to the 1870s, permitting reform, really driving the domestic supply chain right from, the raw material to the finished product as well. So, there's a number of bills up in Congress to be passed, which also includes copper going onto the critical metals list, which then potentially facilitates what they call the Fast 41, where there's a dedicated time frame that all the regulators have got to meet in order to permit a project. So, we're certainly seeing change, probably not as fast as we're wanting, but it is happening. And I think that goes with this whole energy transition, that it's not happening at the speed that everyone thought it would, but it is happening.
Now, with Copper Creek being a very promising project located within America, how does this overall fit into helping the US localize and, I guess, domesticate their supply chains once again?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great opportunity that this has, Copper Creek, if it becomes a mine in the future, has the potential to supply at least 30 years of domestic copper into the market, into the US market, that obviously is critical in electrification, increased technology, infrastructure, etc. So it's going to play a key role in that clean energy transition.
And I just want to tap into your personal experience over your vast career. How have you found working in this jurisdiction compared to others around the world?
Look, so far so good. It's the fact that we've got great infrastructure, whether it's international airports on hand, with the ability to to drive into the project, that we've got, you know, electricity, train lines. You're not in some remote jurisdictions. You haven't got to have a camp. All local amenities around you, and as I say, it's easy to tap into a skilled workforce.
Listen, Paul, I have thoroughly enjoyed learning more about Faraday Creek. However, one thing I'm super excited about is that you will have hopefully more drill results coming out over the next 6 months. Listen, I just want to say thank you so much for being here today, and I look forward to our next conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Shay.